it's Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am up today with a bit of an unusual video. Now I say unusual, it is still a 12 by 12 layout featuring cut files and gorgeous photo of my son. So, that's not that unusual, but in this instance, it's actually a very sped up version of a Facebook Live that I did over on the Confessions of a Paper Addict Facebook group. So that means it's not edited at all. I think I've just gone straight through start to finish as I did on the live. But because I'm talking in the video that I was doing live and obviously interacting with people online and sort of answering questions and chatting, it's going to be probably a little bit disjointed for you to watch. So I'm really sorry about that. But I did want to get it up because I really love how the layout turned out, and I wanted to share it with, all of our subscribers on YouTube. So hopefully you're happy to watch it through. If not, just skip to the end and you can see what the layout looked like. But basically I've combined 3 separate cut files for this. So I've used, I think the bottom one's called Open Book, the one of the book. I did trim a little bit off. It had, it might be pages filled with love actually. Sorry, because it had some love hearts coming out of the book pages that I actually cut off for the purpose of this. And then there's 2 separate animal head cut files that I've used. I feel like one's called Zoo Critters, maybe. Anyway, I'll try to remember to link directly to the cut files down below, but I always link to the shop anyway, so you will be able to see all the cut files there. But they were the cut files that were released most recently in March. And I'm going to have a play around with the Distress Oxides to create my background. Now, those brushes that I showed you on the left-hand side are actually cheap makeup brushes from Kmart. They come in a set of 3, those 3 that you can see there on the left, and they are only $10. So I thought I would give them a try because they look very similar to the very expensive brushes that have been released. Now, I don't remember who released them, but they do look amazing. The sort of, I guess, more professional quality ones. And I do think they will probably last longer than these ones from Kmart. But I wanted to give these ones a shot before I considered or looked into buying the more expensive ones. And obviously you can get different sizes in the more expensive versions, whereas these ones only come in those 3 sizes and you can only buy them like that. So yeah, I wanted to give them a try. So you can see me here blending away, blending. This takes a little while to all come together, but I'm really very surprised with how these brushes blended. They were actually really lovely and they worked really well. They seemed easy to clean. Now, admittedly, I didn't actually clean them with water. I just kind of brushed them onto a baby wipe and then onto some paper towel because I have been told they don't clean up that well with water. They are makeup brushes, so you should be able to wash them with water. They are very thick, bristled though, so I imagine they would take a very long time to dry. But I did find that just cleaning them off with some baby wipe and with a baby wipe and also then rubbing them off on some paper towel actually got the majority of the ink out. And I know I've seen people who have used these types of brushes before and they just keep one brush for each colour family, and that kind of helps as well. So yeah, there you go. I finished my background. So it's pretty full on for me from a mixed media perspective, and I'd never done it before, so I decided that doing it live would be a great idea, but I'm really happy with how it all came together. So my concept behind this layout is that I've taken some photos of my son reading, and I really want to kind of make these animals sort of come off the pages, so to speak. Now, I saw someone in one of my Facebook groups, I want to say it was Moira, but it might have been Kathy, but I can't remember. Scrappy Kathy or Moira O'Reilly, if it was one of you, let me know, because it was someone, and I feel like it was in the Secret Not Secret Kit Club, who created a layout that was things coming off a page. I feel like it was a circular layout, and anyway, it was a fabulous layout, and that sort of gave me, I guess, the idea of this. Now, I didn't scrap lift it because it's quite different to the original, but I will say that is what, I guess, spurred my thinking for this layout, my creativity for this layout. So I've chosen these photos of my son. He's reading the books that are called That's Not My. So they are touch and feel books for kids, and you can buy them in Australia. I believe they're UK made, I think, but they're fabulous, and my son loves them. He reads them non-stop. And I think at the point of me taking these photos, I think we had 4. I've got a few more now because I pick them up when I see them cheap. But yeah, he just loves them. So I wanted to kind of capture that and tell that story. So I've got the little animals backed, and now I am mounting my photos on some white cardstock and now some coloured paper. So I've used, sorry, excuse me, I think this is a Rosie Studio collection actually, most of what I'm using here, but don't ask me which one because I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure it's Rosie Studio. Now, I decided I would stick my cut file down, the book cut file flat, so that I can pop up the animal faces and my photos and sort of tuck them in and have them, yeah, as I said, coming out of the page. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm trying to work out my placement and figure out where I want things to sort of to look before I look at embellishing. I've only got a few embellishments that I thought about adding. I kind of tossed up whether I went with a bit of an animal theme with the embellishments. I've got a few books out, which I want to make sure I include. But in the end, I just go really super basic, actually. And it's a bit hard for me to tell from my iPhone screen when I'm doing my voiceover because the image is very small. I can't remember exactly what I include. So I know I'm just adding a few little bits and pieces. So the books definitely make it on. For obvious reasons, I feel like that doesn't need any explaining. I love being able to use my book die cuts. I've got quite a few of them that I've sort of hoarded. I was tossing up doing an album about my reading, but I've put that to the side. To be honest, mainly because I didn't think I'd want to look back on it in time, in years to come and see what books I read. I've got the Goodreads app for that. I keep a record of all my books there. And I document about my reading sometimes if I've taken a photo of me reading a book, but I don't necessarily feel the need to document kind of exactly what I read and my thoughts on those books at the time. So yeah, I put that to the side, changed up that album, and now I'm creating a milestones album for Link. So I've made his first year album a digital Project Life album. Not that I've finished. I'm up to his week 15, I think, of life. So I'm a long way to go. I'm over a year behind, I think. But that's okay. But I decided to make that digital so I could print out some photo books. And then sort of, because I love scrapbooking, physically scrapbooking, I am making a 9x12 album of his milestones. So things like the first time he sat up and when he crawled and walked and all of those types of things. So I just thought they might be fun memories to capture in physical form. So that's I'm digressing really from this layout, and I'm just sticking things down. I'm just committing myself to where I want these things to go. So I think I've stuck down, while I was gas bagging away there, most of the things down the bottom. Now I'm just layering up a few little embellishments, figuring out exactly where I want to stick this photo before I push it down and commit. And now I am just figuring out which of the little faces cut files are going to go flat and which ones need to be popped up. And I'm going to stick down these books, create a little cluster of books there, and then figuring out, as I said, which ones I'm popping up and which ones I'm tucking under. So I think, oh, that's right, I'm figuring out where to put my title first, because I figured that would mean it might influence how I layer these heads. That sounds so weird. Layer these heads. How I put down these little animal cut files. And so I decide to stick the pig flat down, and then I think it's a tiger and a lion from here. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. And I've popped those up on foam and nestled those around the photos. So now my title is going to be That's Not My ... Now, it might be an odd title for those of you that have never seen those books, but for me, I know that's the title of the book that he's reading. I think he's actually reading the That's Not My Sloth book. But I've got, as I said, we've got a few different ones and they are all his favourite. And so I wanted that to be the title just because that's meaningful for me. So I am committing to sticking that down. So I'm adding those now. And those stickers, I can't remember what they're called, but my sister got them for me for Christmas in our Scrappy advent calendar. And I think they really suited that layout. Stickers are nice and bright and colourful, and so is this layout so far. So I'm pretty much just chatting away thinking what else I might add. So I end up adding some of these enamel shapes, these triangle ones. Feel like I add a lot and then I come back and take some away because I thought I was going a little bit overboard. And I'm like, hang on, just calm the farm, Katie, calm the farm. Here we go. So I come back and I take some off, and I think I was thinking I was creating 3 clusters, but I think I end up creating 4 clusters of the enamel shapes. But I don't really remember. Anyway, I'm just scattering a few of those around. So there we go. That's those. I think I add some splatter. What am I doing? Oh, I'm adding this little ephemera piece. That's right. I'm adding that down. I think I popped that up on foam. And I'm really sorry, but I don't have the layout in front of me and the screen is far too small. I can't remember what that says. That little speech bubble. But I'm sure it was cute. So I think now I'm going to add some splatters. I'm probably just chatting away to everyone and pulling out some of the colours. So this is the navy Heidi Swap Colour Shine. Giving it a good shake because I find that's what it needs. I like rolling them between my hands rather than shaking them because I feel like that helps move the colour that's kind of sunk to the bottom of these tubes. And then this is gold. Now I don't believe this is the Heidi Swap Colour Shine. I could be wrong. It's too hard to tell from this view, but it might be the acrylic paint version that I have. So I think I'm pretty much done, and I'm probably going to keep chatting to people, but I'm hoping that I'm finished and I'm going to show you some close-ups soon. So here we are finished. I'm really happy with how this turned out. It is a very different background for me, and obviously combining 3 cut files is something that I don't do very often. I know it's a pretty busy layout, but I just thought it was super cute and I really wanted to share it. So I'm sorry that the format wasn't fabulous in terms of following along with a live, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Here come the close-ups. Thank you guys for watching. Looking forward to seeing you in our next video, and I hope you're having a fabulous day and staying safe. All right, guys, bye.